You know that moment when you snap? When a tiny little trigger sends you from 0 to 100 and you watch yourself blow up over something that won't matter 5 minutes from now. We've all been there. You feel powerless, like your emotions are driving the car and you're just a passenger holding a tiny, useless map. It's frustrating because you know you're better than that outburst. But in the heat of the moment, self-control vanishes. This isn't about becoming an emotionless robot. This is about taking the wheel back. What if I told you the secret to unbreakable emotional stability isn't aggression or suppression, but deep, deliberate patience? Today, we're borrowing a profound lesson from the Japanese tea masters. They don't just make tea, they practice chanoyu, a ritual of intentionality, calm, and utter presence. Every movement is slow, considered, and perfect. We're going to translate that intentional slowness into 5 actionable steps you can use right now to master your emotional operating system. This is how you stop reacting and start choosing. The first step is what I call Nalan, Wandebu, the clean bowl rule. In the tea ceremony, the tea bowl is meticulously cleaned and warmed before the guest arrives. If there's residue from the last ceremony, it taints the new one. Think about your own emotional bowl. We rarely cleanse the emotional residue of stress, anxiety, or resentment before entering a new interaction. You walk into a meeting still simmering over a fight you had this morning, and boom, you're already at a disadvantage. The clean bowl rule means dedicating 5 minutes to shake off the previous event. Before you open that email, before you walk into the house after work, take 3 deep, square breaths. Acknowledge the emotional luggage you're carrying and set it down. You don't have to solve it, but you do have to consciously decide not to let yesterday's bitterness contaminate today's brew. 2. The pause protocol. A tea master never rushes the water. It's a slow, deliberate pour that respects the temperature, the leaf, and the ceramic. When a trigger hits, that rude email, the traffic jam, the demanding boss, your instinct is to immediately pour out a reaction. Stop. Implement the pause protocol. This is a deliberate 3-second delay between stimulus and response. 3 seconds is enough time for your rational prefrontal cortex to catch up with your limbic system, which is currently screaming that you're about to be eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. If you need a physical anchor, try this. When you feel the spike, drop your shoulders 3 inches. That micro movement signals to your brain that the danger isn't immediate, creating that crucial space where choice lives. 3. The micro movement check. The beauty of the tea ceremony lies in the focused attention on the minute details, the precise fold of the cloth, the exact angle of the wrist. We usually wait until our emotions are a category 5, hurricane, before we notice them. A tea master pays attention to the subtle stirrings. For you, the micro movement check means recognizing the subtle physical cues before the explosion. Is your jaw clenched? Are your shoulders creeping up to your ears? Is your breathing getting shallow? These physical shifts are your body whispering about stress before your mind starts screaming. If you catch the micro movement, you don't have to deal with the macro meltdown. Interrupt the physical pattern, flex your fingers, drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth, and you disrupt the emotional feedback loop. 4. Embracing the wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is the Japanese aesthetic principle that finds beauty in imperfection, transience, and incompleteness. A perfect factory-made cup is less valued than one with a visible crack or a unique asymmetry. Listen, you're going to have imperfect emotional days. You're going to mess up the pause protocol. You're going to let a reaction slip through. The pressure to be perfectly calm at all times is what often makes us panic when we fail. Embracing wabi-sabi means accepting that a few cracks in your emotional discipline don't ruin the entire piece. Don't judge the mistake. Observe it, note what triggered it, and then cleanly move on. Self-compassion is the fastest way back to self-control. 5. The daily stir. Mastery isn't a one-time achievement. It's the disciplined repetition of practice. Nobody achieves the precision of a tea master by only performing the ritual during a crisis. It's the daily, quiet stirring of the whisk, the constant, mundane practice that builds mastery. For emotional patience, this means committing to a quiet daily practice that isn't about solving problems, but about building baseline awareness. This could be 10 minutes of meditation, journaling about your energy levels, or simply sitting in silence without looking at your phone. You build resilience by showing up for the small, easy days so that when the hard days hit, the process is already second nature. Emotional mastery isn't a destination, it's the disciplined repetition of slow, intentional choices. You have the power to step off the emotional roller coaster. It takes courage to slow down, but remember this: patience isn't passive, it's the ultimate act of self-command. By adopting the calm, focused intentionality of the tea master, you transform those moments of reaction into moments of true personal power. If this script resonated, hit that like button. Subscribe so you don't miss our deep dives into performance and mindset. And tell me in the comments below, which of these 5 steps are you committing to practicing today? I want to hear about your daily stir.